Okay, have a good day to all my students. Today we are going to discuss here the instantaneous center method. So what is the basic function and use of the instantaneous center method? So basically we have discussed in chapter number 1 there are different kind of mechanism and its inversion. So what is the application of that mechanism? So mechanism we can use for transforming the motion from one position to the next position, or the mechanism also used in machine. So every link of that mechanism having the motions. So which kind of motions? That is in form of relative velocity or instantaneous center method. That are the methods to obtain the velocity. So every mechanism consisting the number of links having the motion. So that motion I want to trace in form of velocity or acceleration at a respective point or at a respective link. So for that purpose, basically there are two kind of method. First one, instantaneous center method, and second one, relative velocity method. So relative velocity method we shall discuss later on after completion of that instantaneous center method. So basically, what is the instantaneous center method? It is the graphical method. So totally this method which is depending on the graphical. So what is the instantaneous center? So sometime there are two bodies or sometime a single link which is subjected to two simultaneous motion. So consider this is the link AB. So this link AB subjected to the two kind of motion. So first one translational motion and second one rotational motion. So whenever there are two combination of motion, right? So two combination of motion means that suppose if I taken the example of wheel, okay? So this wheel which is rotated on the ground surface. So this ground surface which is fixed up, this is the center. So this wheel which is moving in this direction. So what happened? This is the translational motion, and also about this center it also rotate in circular manner. So it is the rotational motion. So same kind of this is theory applicable to that link AB which is subjected to the two motion. First is moving, that is the translational motion, and about A1 if I providing the smaller angular displacement through, that is theta. So here we are getting this is the B1 and here is the B2. So this is the final position, which is the final position A1 B2. So at A1 B2, this A1 B2 indicating is the combination of two motion, first one rotational and that is one translational. But I want to assume and consider only one type of motion, that is the pure rotation. So how you can determine the pure rotation? That instant we require the instantaneous center, and instantaneous center is denoted by I. So what is instantaneous center? It is a totally imaginary or virtual center. About that center, just body instantaneous center of rotation, that is just body will rotate pure rotation. Understood? So I want to determine the instantaneous center of that system. So there is a basic method how you can determine. Just first of all you have to join B2 B2 and same A2 A1. Now in this particular position, how you can determine here? So B2 B1 you have to bisect in the nothing but just you have to determine the center, and from that center you have to draw a dotted line. Similar one from A to A1, once again you have to bisect means that find out the center position and you have to extend here. So after bisection of B B2 and A1, this is the extension, and at that extension here we are getting the common point of intersection, and about that common point of intersection we say the instantaneous center. Understood? So instantaneous center is the virtual center or it is the imaginary center which is useful to determine the velocity of link or velocity of point which are lies on a link. Okay, so further we are moving towards our main point, the instantaneous center method. So basically we required some formulas for the instantaneous center method. So refer, first of all, I am considering here the link AB. So this is the link AB, right? So this link AB, in this we are considering it is the rigid link. So first point A and second point, that is the B. So this link AB, which is subjected to the a particular motion, that is the rotational motion, or second one, that is the pure rotational, and second kind of, that is the translational. So consider 2 points A and B on rigid link. Let, with respect to AB, I want to determine the velocity of point B, right? So at initial position, I am showing here the VA, okay, and from that B point I am showing here the VB. So what is VA? VA is the linear velocity of A point, and VB, that is the linear velocity at B point. So initially we should know the direction of velocity at point A, that moving in this direction. So initially we have the magnitude and direction of V, and we have only here the direction of VB. So how we can find out that direction? That is the, here this angle is denoted by alpha, and second one, if I extending this line, right? So after extension, here we are getting this angle, okay? So this angle, that is the beta. So alpha is the angular inclination of VA, and beta is the angular inclination of VB. So basically we'll have to determine here the magnitude of VB. So initially we should know the magnitude and direction of point A, and here is the VB, that is the direction of velocity of direction. Which kind of velocity? That is the linear velocity, right? So linear velocity is moving in this direction along with this angle beta. This is the extension, right? Now I want to determine here the instantaneous center. So we are discussing here the instantaneous center method. So in this instantaneous center method, basically this is the alpha angle and this is the beta angle. So here angle alpha and beta, that representing here the direction of point A and direction of point B, right? Then resolve the component. Resolving means that just you have to resolve here the component of VA and VB. So VA is moving here. So what is the magnitude of that VA? That is VA cos alpha, okay, and it moving on the direction, actual or main direction of AB. And similar kind of way, if I resolve the component of VB along with angle beta, so magnitude, that is VB cos beta, okay. So resolving the velocity along AB, so direction of VA cos alpha and VB cos beta, that is equal to same, and that is why resolving the velocity along AB, VA cos alpha is equal to VB cos beta. Now keeping one side VA upon VB, so VA upon VB is equal to cos beta upon cos alpha, okay. Now VA upon VB is equal to sin 90 minus beta divided by sin 90 minus alpha. So how we can consider here? It is the expansion, that is the trigonometric term. We know that the cos beta will have to convert into sin. So what is the basic trigonometric relation? Cos beta is equal to sin 90 degree minus beta. And same kind of way, cos alpha, I want to convert cos alpha into sin. So cos alpha is equal to sin 90 degree minus alpha. That is your equation number 1. So all of you understood equation number 1? Yeah. After getting that equation number 1, applying the Lami's theorem. So where we can apply the Lami's theorem? Just refer here. That is AB. Now I want to trace here the instantaneous center. So how you can trace the instantaneous center of any body or any link or any mechanism? So we have the one relation. So direction of velocity at point A is moving in this direction, and direction of velocity of point B moving in this direction. So with respect to VA, just you have to draw a 90-degree line, that is the dotted. Okay, and from similarly from this B point, why? Because VB is moving vertically upward, so 90-degree line which is projecting here in this manner. So after extending that 90-degree lines from A point and B point, we are getting here the one point of intersection, and that point of intersection we would say that is the instantaneous center of that link AB. So about that this link AB rotate purely, understood? So that is the instantaneous center or virtual center. So after considering the next relation, I want to determine the angles. So this angle, I want to determine this angle from this end to this end. That angle is equal to 90-degree minus beta. Okay, and similarly this angle, because of the relation, this angle is equal to 90-degree minus alpha. Okay, so this from this point to this vertical line and AB, that angle carrying the 90-degree minus alpha, and this, that is the horizontal line and incline AB, this angle is denoted by 90-degree minus beta. Okay, so after that applying the Lami's theorem. So where we can apply the Lami's theorem? This is the triangle. Which triangle? ABI. Okay, so according to Lami's theorem, this is the one edge of triangle AI. Okay, so AI upon that is equal to opposite angle, this angle, right? So AI upon, according to Lami's theorem, sine function is there, and this angle is indicating here the 90 minus beta. So AI upon sine 90-degree minus beta is equal to, next similarly in this triangle, once again you have to consider the edge BI. So where is the point B, and here is the I. So BI upon BI means that this is the edge, and this edge having the opposite angle this. So this angle carrying the 90-degree minus alpha. Therefore BI upon sine 90-degree minus alpha. So next, keep one side, keep AI as it is, transfer BI to the opposite side. So AI upon BI, and that is equal to sine 90-degree minus beta divided by sine 90-degree minus alpha. Okay, so say the equation number 2. So we have equation number 1 and 2. So refer here. So in equation number 1, RHS that is equal to this term, and equation number 2, RHS that is equal to this term, and that is why equating equation number 1 and 2. So equation 1 and 2 equating. So what is the LHS? VA upon VB. So VA upon VB is equal to equation number 2, that is AI upon BA. Okay, so AI VA upon VB is equal to AI upon BI, and similarly just you have to transfer, we keep as it is VA, this AI moving towards in denominator, and similar kind of way this VB that is moving in numerator. So VA upon AI is equal to VB upon BI is equal to omega. This is the very important relation. So, okay, so all of you understood, this is the basic relation. Always we'll have to apply to solve the problems by using this relation in instantaneous center method. Now suppose same in this particular problem, if I considering the another C point. So C point which is lies outside the that link AB, and that moving in this direction. So how you can determine the velocity of that C point? By using the same relation. If C point is considered same, VA upon AI is equal to VB upon BI is equal to VC upon C. So this is the basic theory, and this relation always we are applying in upcoming problem. And is equal to omega. Omega is nothing but angular velocity. Okay, got it? Then next, types of instantaneous centers. So this is very important part about the instantaneous center method. So once you understand which kind of instantaneous center are there, then we can easily draw any problem by using this relation. Okay, so refer here, types of instantaneous center. So consider this is one mechanism. In this mechanism consisting how many number of links? That is link 1, link 2, link 3 and link 4. So out of that, link 1 is fixed. So link 1 is fixed, so it become mechanism. So basically there are three kind of instantaneous center. So first one, permanent instantaneous center, fixed instantaneous center, and third one, neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. Okay, so in given mechanism, how you can give the naming of the instantaneous center? So before the starting of that, first of all, we require the properties of instantaneous center. If there are two links, so which two links? If link number 1 and link number 2 that are connected by pin joint, and suppose if pin joint is there, then you have to consider the instantaneous center about the pin joint, right? So in this particular example, link 1 and link 2 which are connected by here, that is the pin joint, and about that pin joint you have to consider, just give the I means instantaneous center between link 1 and 2, therefore I 1 2. Okay, similarly this is the link 1 and 4, here is the pin joint, so about that I instantaneous center, what we say, I, that is 1 4. Understood? So this is I 1 2 and this is I 1 4. So these are the examples of fixed instantaneous center. So I 1 2 and I 1 4. This kind of instantaneous center we say the fixed instantaneous center. Okay. After that, permanent instantaneous center. So where is the permanent instantaneous center? Refer here, because fixed instantaneous center which are lies on fixed link. So in given configuration, whatever we are providing the motion to link 2 or 4, the instantaneous center I 1 2 and I 1 4, these are always remains constant. They cannot move at any position or any direction, irrespective of direction. Understood? So these are fixed. They can not move any direction. That is why we say fixed instantaneous center I 1 2 and I 1 4. Okay. Then next type is the permanent instantaneous center. So where is the permanent instantaneous center? Refer here. So this is the one point. So this point is between link 2 and link 3. So the name of that instantaneous center, that is 2 3. And here is the last point, same link between 3 and 4. Here we are getting the new point. Okay, and the point name, that is between 3 4, so I 3 4. Understood? So I 2 4 and I 3 4, if I providing the motion to that link, then what happen? Due to the motion, I 2 3 will move in this manner, and also same I 3 4 also move in this manner. But in this particular case, joints are fixed. Which joints? Between link 2 and 3 and between link 3 and 4. So joints are permanent in nature. Understood? So that is why this I 2 3 and I 3 4, these are the permanent instantaneous center. Okay, so only we are getting the fixed instantaneous center I 1 2, I 1 4, and permanent instantaneous center, that is I 2 3 and I 3 4. Okay, now next we'll have to determine the neither fixed. Third type, it is very important, that is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. So that are not shown here. Okay, so basically how you can determine, just we have finding here the combination. So how we can find out that combination? That is by considering this I12 here is, sorry, this is the I12, I14, just you have to extend in backward direction, and I34 and 23, just you have to extend in this direction. So we are getting here the point of intersection. Okay, so in point of intersection I giving the name here the I24, and similarly here from this I23 and I12, this is one link, just you have to extend by using dotted line, and similarly I14 and I34, just you have to extend here. We are getting one intersecting point, and that is the I13. Okay, so I24 and I13, these are the neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. So I24 and I13, so these are the basically two instantaneous center. Which two centers? That is I24, I13. These are the two neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center, because these two instantaneous center are always varying in given configuration. Why? Because if I providing the motion to that link, then what happen? This is the standard position of the link 2. If I providing the motion, and due to that motion, what happen? Link 2 rotate in this direction. Then what happen? I24 and I13 always move in this direction, and I24 also move in according to the direction. So this is the type number 3, that is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center. Understood? So these are the basically three types. How you can determine the I24 and I13, that is neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous center, that we will discuss later on. Now another important part, that is the location of I centers. Okay, so how you can locate the instantaneous center? As I told you, if two links, consider link 2 and this is the link number 1, which are joined by pin joint. So instantaneous center you have to consider on that pin joint, that is I means instantaneous between which two links? 1 and 2, that is why I12. Now here consider there is one rotary member. Rotary member is in the sense disc is there. So on that disc there is a one A point, and here is the B point. The A point velocity, linear velocity moving in this direction, and B point which is moving in this direction. Now here is the link 1, that is fixed, and this is the disc, that is link 2. Now I want to determine the instantaneous center of VA and VB. So basically we know that the theory, how we can determine it, from that VA is starting, VA is moving in this direction. So just you have to draw a perpendicular line, right? And similarly from that B point, once again you have to draw a perpendicular line. So point of intersection we are getting here. So this is your I12. Understood? So this is the basic theory related to the trace the location of instantaneous center. Now next overcome, this is the one fixed link. So that fixed link we say the link 1, and this is the sliding member, that is the link 2. Okay, so on that link 1, here is the sliding member. Sliding member just slide over the link number 1. Now in this particular case I want to trace the instantaneous center. Okay, so here is the A point. If the slider is moving in this direction, the velocity, linear velocity of point A is moving here, that is VA, and about point B the linear velocity, that is VB. So basic theory we know that I want to determine the instantaneous center in this particular case, right? So from the A point just you have to draw a perpendicular line, and from B point just you have to draw a perpendicular line. But that two lines from the point A and B, that are exactly straight. So that two lines not intersect with each other because of its nature of that system. So we have getting instantaneous center, that is I12 at infinity. Okay, so this condition is applied for the slider. When two links we have considered, one link is fixed and another member is slider. So in this particular case, we have getting instantaneous center at infinity. Understood? Okay. Then last term, here is the Kennedy's theorem. So what is Kennedy's theorem? Kennedy's theorem give one formula to determine the instantaneous centers. So if three bodies move relative to each other, then they have three instantaneous center and lies on the straight line. So according to Kennedy's theorem, we are getting one relation. So what is that relation? N is equal to, N means capital N. Capital N, that is number of instantaneous centers. So N is equal to small n into bracket small n minus 1 divided by 2. This is the basic relation. This relation is very important to determine the number of instantaneous centers. Okay, so refer here, this is the link number 1, link number 2, and here is the link number 3. Okay, so in given mechanism 1, 2, 3, there are 3 links, right? So according to Kennedy's theorem, the instantaneous center lies here. So in this given mechanism, how many number of links? That is small n is equal to 3. So just put here 3 into 3 minus 1 divided by 2, that is n. So capital N is equal to 3. This is the number of instantaneous centers for the given mechanism. So this is the very important formula to determine the instantaneous center. So I think all of you understood the all theory, and according to that theory, we are starting our first problem. Okay, thank you.